Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Bears Talk today. We have a lot to get into. The Bears moved to 8-3. They defeat the Pittsburgh Steelers 31-28 on their home field. Unfortunately, Aaron Rodgers didn't play yesterday. He had a bit of an owie.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, poor baby.
He was too scared.
He's too scared. So he didn't play. In substitution, Mason Rudolph, who I actually thought didn't play horribly, didn't do anything, I guess, kind of extraordinary that you might be surprised about, though. Bears take this one. Another one-score game. Another close, tight Bears victory. They moved to 8-3. They're still first place in the NFC North.
Mm-hmm.
They're the third seed in the NFC. Justin, talk to me. How are we feeling right now?
I mean, Mike, I feel like we're pretty good, right? I think we spoke about it last episode where we only need to win, what, was it 3?
I think the number was down to 3. If we want to get to 10 wins, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that the Bears, I think for my expectations for the season alone, I just thought that they have already exceeded it, right? So I'm not saying the Bears shouldn't go out and try to win every single game until the end of the season, but I do think, let's get to 10. I think if we get to 10, we'll be okay.
Yeah.
But overall, I feel pretty good. I know the haters are going to say, well, Aaron Rodgers didn't play. You guys didn't play a good it doesn't matter. I think I've come to the point as a Bears fan where I'm accepting, hey, a win is a win, no matter what, right? I'd rather win close games than lose all of the games and get blown out. So
winning ugly is better than losing, period.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And the Bears, I mean, as a franchise, we're in no position to complain about wins.
Yeah.
Like 8-3 is 8-3. I don't care if you win every game by a field goal. I don't care if you're win by 40 a game.
Right.
8-3 is 8-3.
Mm-hmm.
And I completely agree with you that winning is all that matters. They've been doing that, and yes, have we played some subpar teams? Have we played a couple backup quarterbacks? Welcome to the NFL. That's just what happens. You play who's on your schedule. We can't help that Joe Burrow got hurt. We can't help that, even though we lost the game, we can't help that Lamar got hurt. We can't help that Aaron Rodgers got hurt. I was just thinking about it. We've played all the AFC North backup quarterbacks.
We have. Yeah.
And we'll play Shador, who is technically, perfect timing, which is perfect timing.
See
so we're going to complete the gauntlet of the AFC North backup quarterbacks. Anyways.
Yeah, it's crazy.
No, I mean, you play who you play. And I like, again, in a perfect world, are we beating these teams by a couple more scores? Yeah. Are we, beating Joe Burrow instead of Joe Flacco? Yeah, sure. But the NFL is not perfect. It's hard to win this league.
Yeah.
And like Ben Johnson and everybody in Chicago is saying right now, don't apologize for winning in this league.
No.
If you win, you win. So there is much to celebrate. There's much to be happy about. The Bears are 8-3. I think it's – when I look at this Bears team, Justin, and I said this last week against the Vikings, I'm going to say it again.
Yeah.
When the game is close, and all of our games this year have been, it feels like, when the game is close in the fourth quarter and there are a couple of plays that are going to decide it, I just trust the Bears to make those plays.
Yeah.
I trust that they're going to get a stop on defense. I trust that the offense is going to get down the field and score a touchdown if they have to, or kick a field goal if they have to. I trust that our special teams, our guys, going to make the field goal. We're going to get a big return. I just have faith in this team in the crunch time moments of the game, and that just gives me so much ease with all of these one-score games that we've been playing. I think the coaching for this team on both sides of the ball has been so strong that when, Nick Saban always used to say, in pressure situations, you sink to the level of your training, right? And they're relying on that good coaching here in the waning moments of these games. And, I don't think it's a coincidence that the Bears keep pulling off these big victories in tight situations.
Yeah, and I mean, I think overall, like I've said all season, it just helps us develop and grow our quarterback, right? You want to make sure that your franchise quarterback can deliver in big moments. We've seen that from plenty of players: Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson. That is, you want your quarterback to be able to go into a situation, and come out on top. So I think yesterday's game was a great statement win. I think this was definitely, out of all the teams we faced recently, the tougher competition, right? Aaron Rodgers was still hurt, but they still had T.J. Watt. They have a great pass rush. Yeah,
great pass rush.
Their run game was really good yesterday. Metcalf was getting involved a little bit. So, I mean, sure, their quarterback wasn't the greatest, and like you said, Mason Rudolph didn't play a bad game. But overall, I mean, I'm not saying don't sleep on Pittsburgh because, I mean, I took a nap already. But, I mean, don't count them out, right? AFC North is a really weird division, so you never know with that side. But no, Mike, I think that can kind of go into our next question. Obviously, we're we had a nice lead in the third quarter. Obviously, Caleb the whole game was pretty much exposing that weak pass rush that we talked about, our pass defense that we talked about last week. The secondary. So what was your thoughts on Caleb? How did he perform? Give me your thoughts on that.
I think Caleb, I don't want to say he played bad yesterday. You can't throw 3 touchdowns and 0 interceptions and play bad.
Yeah.
He only got sacked 1 time. But there were some throws that he left out there, I would say.
Yeah.
He missed some throws for sure. And I'm not concerned as in like, oh, this is his Achilles heel. He'll never overcome this. He's still a young quarterback. Accuracy, it ebbs and flows a little bit. But I think that there were some plays that were schemed well, that were open, that he missed. And I don't know if that's a chemistry issue. I don't know if that was a Caleb issue or a route issue. I don't know what it was. Got to get that cleaned up a little bit. 19 of 35, he completed just over 50% of his passes. Not ideal. But one thing they did is they hit the explosives, right? 3 touchdowns. They got other receivers involved. DJ Moore had his best game in who knows how long. Loveland was involved. Odunze was involved. Burton was involved. And, you're seeing kind of some of those big plays that the Bears were able to hit. There were a couple third and longs, couple scrambles that Caleb had. Caleb ran for 20 yards. So I wouldn't say that he played bad yesterday, but I do think that there were some opportunities that he missed.
Yeah.
But he didn't throw an interception, which he really hasn't done all year. I don't remember the last interception he threw.
I don't know either, yeah.
I mean, I guess I could really think about it, but I don't remember a lot of interceptions he's thrown this year.
Yeah, only 4 interceptions on the season, so that's really good.
And we're 11 games in. That's very good. He did make the critical mistake of kind of trying to extend the play too long. T.J. Watt got to him, fumbled the ball in the end zone. You could crush Caleb for that, but at the end of the day, I think T.J. Watt's going to T.J. Watt to a certain degree.
He was gonna get past.
Yeah,
that moment was ugly, but then you look at the rest of the game from that point on, you could see Caleb just turn on that switch. He said, "Okay, I got to really fight."
It really was kind of like one big error, and then the rest it was clean football.
Yeah,
right? I know you have one turnover, right? But thankfully, it didn't cost the Bears. But he has not really been putting the ball in harm's way. He's done a good job of that. Done a good job of evading pressure. Which, yesterday we had backups all over. We had guys getting banged up. We had Jonah Jackson get knocked out. Alzi Trapillo was in the game, our rookie second rounder. So there was a lot of, newbies on the offensive line yesterday going up against a really good Steelers front. And for him to have the stat line he did, I think speaks volumes. Again, want to see him be a little more consistently accurate. But overall, I thought it was a good day for him. Yeah. I'd give it probably a C, maybe C+.
Okay.
Maybe C+.
Yeah. I would say maybe – I feel like for me it would be a B only because I feel like this game, until that sack by T.J. Watt, I thought for most of the game he was not bad. I didn't think he was going to go out there and get 400 yards, but I do think, when you look at the critical points of that game of when they really needed to get another first down or they needed to complete in the red zone, they did that. And I think definitely, I felt like throughout most of this game we had a lead. I did, I'm not going to blame the defense as much this time around. I mean, we were completely depleted on that side.
Oh, my God.
And, I mean, it was horrible.
Oh, my God. No linebackers. You got no safety. You got no corners. When Sean Wright got banged up during the game, I was like, are they going to call me through the TV to come play corner? Because we have nobody.
Nobody.
I mean, it was dreadful. I mean, Ben Johnson, did you see in his post-game thing in the locker room?
Yeah.
He's like, man, we don't got no linebackers right now. You know what I mean? So, no, they were absolutely banged up. That's kind of what we were saying in the beginning, though. It's like, that's why winning's so hard.
It is.
When you have 5 linebackers that are hurt, you have 4 defensive backs that are hurt, your defense is rolling out like third-string rookies.
Yeah.
And you manage to win the game, that is a good thing, point blank, period. Doesn't matter what the score was.
Yeah. And I always say this, which I know we'll talk about with our game preview, but, to get these guys fully healthy, everybody fully healthy, I think that we'll become even a more dangerous team going down the season.
Yeah. When Jalen Johnson comes back to this team.
Oh, dude.
When Kyler Gordon's back. This is going to be I think a really good secondary.
Yeah.
And then you get Edmonds back. Edmonds, I heard a rumor that he might go on IR, which would suck, obviously. But the good thing for the Bears is they put themselves in such a good position to where I am almost thinking as long as he's back for the playoffs.
Yeah.
Right. That's when our season.
Crazy statement, right?
Which is great. Which is great that the Bears are in that spot because now you're sitting at 8 wins. You have another game against the Browns, so that's 9, right? And then like we talked about last week. You have to win one of Philly, Detroit, Green Bay, San Francisco. Win one of those 5, and you're probably in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like, that's the math that the Bears are at right now. So, truthfully, if Edmonds does miss, a few more games of this season, but he's fully healthy come January for the playoffs, I'll take that.
I'll take that too.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
The Bears, because I still don't know if the Bears are going to win their division. I actually, for a moment yesterday, Justin, when the Lions were getting worked by Jameis Winston, which he does like randomly.
Once a year.
He just randomly pops off and like, oh yeah, you won the Heisman Trophy. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
When he was doing it to him, I was like, man, if the Lions lose,
I know, dude. I was thinking the same thing.
We really got a good lead here.
We do, yeah.
But alas, they won. They should have won. As soon as Jameer took that handoff in overtime, I said, that boy gone. That game's over.
Yeah.
But regardless, we still have the lead, and we're hoping to preserve it. But more likely, we'll get a wild card spot, I would think.
Yeah, I think so too.
So to me, that's where you just want your guys back fully healthy. Jalen Johnson, Kyler Gordon, Edmonds, Edwards.
Yeah.
Make sure the O-line's healthy. Like, if we walk in the playoffs healthy, I'll give him a shot. I think that'll be a good thing for him.
No, yeah, I definitely think when you look at our remaining games of the season, I think we can at least get 3. I think Ben Johnson's mindset to his players is that we need to go out there and win every single game possible. But I'm going to be a realist here. I think that I think we will get. I'll say that it's unrealistic for us to go undefeated the rest of the season. I just think in today's league, it's. I mean, we saw some close losses yesterday, and we saw some upsets in previous weeks before. So I just, I'm very happy that we're in this moment. I was thinking the same thing that you were thinking yesterday about the Lions.
Yeah.
And, I mean, we're still first in the NFC North.
Yeah.
I mean, the Packers are starting to slowly, unfortunately, creep up. But, I just think overall we're at a really good point at this season that I'll be honest, in September, I wasn't really expecting this.
Yeah. And people can say whatever they want, like, oh, the Bears are frauds. Oh, the Bears are going to get knocked out first round, whatever. Regardless, this is a good thing.
Yeah.
And this is ahead of schedule.
Way ahead of schedule.
Ben Johnson, year 1, has turned the Bears from a joke, team that didn't win a game for like 3 months, to now it's like, oh, the Bears are maybe not a great team yet. They're good. Their offense is good. They can run the ball.
Yeah.
Caleb showed a lot of promise. Their receivers look good. The defense is not great yardage-wise. They're taking the ball away more than any other team in football. They did it again yesterday, twice.
Yeah.
So, you can look at these things and you can argue until you're blue in the face, hey, are the Bears great? Are they going to go to the Super Bowl? Probably not this year.
No.
But are the Bears a bad team? Absolutely not.
No, they're not.
That day is over.
Yeah.
That was the Matt Eberflus Bears. This is the Ben Johnson Bears.
So, it's crazy to think about. But
again, I think the Bears, regardless of how the rest of the season plays out, they look to be ahead of schedule right now, and that's a really encouraging thing to know that they've got their coach and they've got their quarterback, which is not something they've ever had in my life.
I mean, I will say though, I give you a lot of credit, Mike, because last season earlier, in the offseason, we were talking about Ben Johnson, and I was such a believable Bears fan that I was like, there's no way we're going to sign him. There's no way. And you called it right here on this show. So
I did call it.
It
was more like, and I'll give myself credit for calling it, but it was more like also like a prayer. It was like one of those prayers you just say, like, the Bears will get Ben Johnson.
Yeah.
Please,
Please. Yeah.
And then they listen. So kind of unbelievable that when you invest a lot of money in a coaching staff and you invest in your offensive line, that your quarterback looks a lot better.
Yeah.
Wow. Who would have thought that?
Who would have thought?
Bears finally learning from their mistakes since
right?
1985. Okay. I think now we need to talk about the division a little bit, Justin, because every week we've kind of been on our NFC North monitor list.
Yep.
So yesterday, Bears won. We're staying in first in the NFC North.
Yep.
The Lions, unfortunately, won against the Giants in overtime. The Packers pounced on 9 and JJ McCarthy.
Yeah.
We can rule the Vikings out.
Yeah,
Vikings season's over.
Yeah.
What are they? They're 4-7 right now.
4-7. Yeah.
They're done.
Yeah, their
season's over. McCarthy is in concussion protocol.
Yeah, they got a 1% chance to make the playoffs.
Yeah, their season's over. So we can cross the Vikings off the list. I had been high on the Vikings in the entire offseason. I thought even if JJ didn't look great, I thought he would look playable.
Yeah.
He has not been good at all.
No, not at all.
He's been horrible. And I didn't think it was possible for him with this coaching staff and with his receivers to be that bad. I mean, yesterday he threw for like 87 yards and 2 interceptions.
That's crazy.
Horrible. Okay, Vikings are done. Packers. I still think the Packers are dangerous. Don't get me wrong, but they haven't looked right this year. There's been some weird going on with Green Bay this year.
Yeah, I think overall, it's when they go against good competition is when they struggle. And I think definitely, I don't know their next opponent in Week 13, but I would just say definitely I would not be surprised if they slip and fall a little bit.
The Lions.
Yeah, they're going to lose next week.
Lions-Packers.
They are going to lose. And is it the Lions at home?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, they're going to lose. Yeah, they're going to lose next week. So, good. Unfortunately, I would love for that game to be in a tie, so that way we can keep our first place lead. But like I said, the evidence will be in the pudding on Thanksgiving when you see the Lions dominate against the Packers, and I just don't think they're against Super Bowl competition. I just don't think that they're great.
Let me tell you who they got coming up. This is brutal for Green Bay. Mm-hmm. They got the Lions on Thanksgiving in Detroit.
L.
They host us.
L.
Then they go to Denver. Then they go to Chicago. Then they get the Ravens at home. That's a brutal 5-game schedule for them.
I could see them winning 1 or 2 games out of that.
That's a brutal 5-game schedule for them. Mm-hmm. So even if the Bears, and I've said this pretty much the whole season, you got to at least split with Green Bay.
You do.
Got to go 1-1. Mm-hmm. So say the Bears take one of those games. I think the Lions beat them. That's 2. Mm-hmm. Playing Denver, the way that Denver's defense is playing, they could beat anybody at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not necessarily sold on Bo Nix yet, but their defense is incredible. And then you got to play the Ravens, who are going to be fighting for their playoff life. So this is not an easy 5-game kind of cushion for the Packers, right?
No.
They are going to be really feeling not beating the Panthers, not beating the Browns, 2 of those, gimme wins, not beating the Cowboys, who, offensively are really good, defensively are horrible. But, the Packers are kind of in trouble too.
Yeah.
So, again, beating Green Bay is going to be key. Let's see how they look against the Lions on Thanksgiving to really see if they're a threat. Mm-hmm. Then we got Detroit. They play the Packers like we just said.
Yep.
Then they play Dallas. Then they play the Rams, Pittsburgh, Minnesota, and us. So I think Detroit has a much easier final 5 of their season.
They do, yeah.
Than what I'm sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, final 6 than what we have. Mm-hmm. But the fact of the matter is that the Bears, if they can win a couple division games here, I mean, I don't know. Detroit hasn't looked like really Detroit either.
No.
It's like they're feeling the loss of Ben Johnson a little bit. So it'll be very interesting. I think so. You're on the website right now. What does it say our division chances are?
It says 62% for us. If the playoffs ended today, obviously the Lions would be out, the Packers would be 6, and obviously the Vikings are looking for
that's
next season.
That's our playoff chance, or that's our division chance to win the division?
Oh no, this is just playoff chances. This is not. It was still crazy.
Interesting.
But then you have Rams, Eagles, 99%. It's like
what's Seattle probably?
Seattle is 90%.
Yeah, so a lot of the wildcard teams have a much
higher chance
than the Bears.
Numbers are, I'm not a person who gambles, and numbers aren't my thing anyway. So I'm not looking at that because obviously, I feel like these standings will change a lot, especially once we get late into the season. Yeah. So, right now we just need to focus on that magic number, which is 10. I think we need to get to there. If we get to 11, 12, 5 or 11, 12 wins, then that's even better. But let's just get to double digits and see what happens from there.
I mean, we saw last year in the NFC, 10 wins wasn't enough to make the playoffs.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Mm-hmm. I will say, in fairness, that was a weird tiebreaker situation that Seattle had with the Rams. It was kind of a weird, they went to divisional, interconference record or something. It was weird.
Yep.
So that's why I think it's so important. If I were to pick, okay, we're saying the Browns is an automatic win. It should be.
Yeah, it should be.
It's at home against the Browns. It should be an automatic win. If we're saying, all right, you got to win one of the other 4 games, 5 games. Oh, 1, 2, 3. Yeah. If you got to win one of the other 5 games, I'm picking either San Francisco or Green Bay. Because San Francisco, I think, is also going to be in contention with us for the playoffs. To have that tiebreaker over them will be huge.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, Green Bay, who is currently in the wild card spot, to have a tiebreaker or at least a split with them will be huge.
Yeah.
So I think you got to win at least one of those 2 games.
You do, yeah.
And then you add on Cleveland. And then, maybe if I'm being greedy, maybe we take Week 18 from Detroit. I don't know. I don't know that the Bears are good enough to do that. But I will say the weakness of Jared Goff, and by definition, the weakness of this Lions offense
seriously
is playing out in the cold.
Yeah.
You saw what they look like in Philly the other day, and I get we're not the Eagles. We'll talk about the Eagles in a second. Trust
me. Yes.
I get we don't have the Eagles defensive line. I understand that. I'm not naive to that. But you better believe on January 4th it's going to be cold in Chicago.
Oh, for sure.
And you better believe that Jared Goff is going to be uncomfortable. So there's a chance that the Bears can sneak one out there. So I think it's so important. If I was a Bears fan. I am a Bears fan. Why did I say that? If I was the Bears, I would really circle December 28th against the Niners and December 7th and December 20th against the Packers.
Yeah, I would too.
Win 2 of those games. I don't care what you do. Just win 2 of those games.
Yeah.
And I think the Bears have a good chance to make the playoffs. Well, it's funny, Justin, though, because a couple weeks ago they said we had a 43% chance to make the playoffs. So it's gone up 20% in 2 weeks. I think that's very encouraging.
Very.
We're going to need Detroit to lose some games. Honestly, it probably helps us if Green Bay wins.
Really?
I think and I'd really have to do the math. You know, and you'd really have to crunch some numbers together. Yeah. But I think we should probably root for Green Bay on Thanksgiving.
Okay.
I know they're currently second.
Yeah.
But I think with the strength of their schedule over their last 6 games, they're going to be a couple games behind the 8 ball. And I think Detroit will have time to build some stuff up after facing some subpar teams. Yeah. I think we probably want Green Bay to win on Thursday. Okay. Is my thought. Yeah. Is my thought. I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, yeah, I think definitely I actually see your point because if Green Bay wins and we, you know, depending on how the chips fall and, you know, it's a situation where we run into each other, I'm not going to lie. I'd rather take Green Bay in a playoff matchup than Detroit. Yeah. Especially if it's, wild card, divisional, whatever. But I think overall, you know, for us, let's just try to win as many games as possible, right? We need to keep doing what we're doing, stack those wins, because as you can see in this playoff picture, literally every single win counts. And especially if another team's on a hot streak and you lose 2 or 3 games before that, you're now 3.5, 4 games behind. Yeah. And your playoff chances pretty much dwindle.
I mean, all of our remaining games, with the exception of Cleveland, are against NFC playoff teams. Yeah. Detroit, Green Bay, Philly, and the 49ers. Playoff contenders, I should say. Yeah. So it's so big. All right, Justin. I think now we have gone big picture. We've gone the macro. Yeah. Let's go with the micro now. Let's talk about specifically our next game against Philly on Friday, on Black Friday. Yep. Bears, Eagles. Justin, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Game's in Philly. Okay. Yes. The Eagles, they got to be a little upset after what the Cowboys did to them.
Yeah, I felt yesterday. Like that was a Madden NFL simulation, and there were so many fumbles, I lost count.
This is very uncharacteristic of me, but game was 21-0, and I was at my cousin's house, and I was like, all right, you know what, I can miss the rest of this game. I'm going to drive home. So I drove home, get back about an hour later. It's 21-7. I was like, oh, maybe the Cowboys do something. And then it was just like the Cowboys they went in the Wayback Machine, and they got back to the 90s. Yeah. It was like Troy Aikman and Michael. Did you see George Pickens yesterday?
Yeah.
He was incredible.
He was incredible.
He's incredible. Yeah. He's honestly been better than CeeDee Lamb this year, which is
insane.
Insane to say, but he has. Yeah. They turned a switch. They flipped it. They made Saquon fumble. When does that ever happen?
Yeah, right.
And the Cowboys just had all the momentum, and they kicked the Eagles in the butt.
Rear behind,
for the second half. They kicked the Eagles' butt in the second half.
They did.
And 24 unanswered for them after being down 21-0. Crazy. What a loss for the Eagles.
Insane, man.
But again, that to me means that they're going to be a little upset going into Friday. But just when we look at this Eagles team, you know, yes, they are currently one of the top seeds in the NFC. They are the 1 seed right now in the NFC. Yeah. I'm sorry, they're the 2 seed. The Rams are the number 1 seed. We look at this Eagles team, defending Super Bowl champion. They're 8-3. We have the same record as the Eagles.
We do.
Remember that.
Yeah.
For all of you that say the Bears are frauds, remember that we have the same record. What is the key, in your opinion, to beating this Eagles team, which at their best is the best team in the NFL? But we've seen there's been some drama with A.J. Brown.
Don't draft me in fantasy this week.
Don't draft me in fantasy, all that stuff. There's been some weird stuff with Jalen, and Saquon's not been as good. And what are the keys to beating the Eagles on Black Friday?
Man, I think overall is we have to strike first. And what I mean by that is we have to come out aggressive, right? Especially with this Eagles team that just lost against the Cowboys in a ugly, horrible fashion. It wasn't like it was a close game. They were leading 21-0 in halftime. I thought it was going to be a beatdown. But I think what the Cowboys did, and the Bears can do this too, is the Eagles are human. And yes, they're Super Bowl champions. Yes, they've won a lot of games this season, but they haven't really been dominant like they were last season. And I think A.J. Brown got a little bit more involved because I watched that game from start to finish. I definitely feel like A.J. Brown was more involved in that game yesterday. But I do think that overall, when you look at this Eagles team, they're dominant. On paper, they have all of the household names that can scare a team, an NFL defense, but they're not always playing up to that expectation. So I definitely think the way how you win against the Eagles, you got to score a lot of points. I think when it comes to the Eagles' offense, it's scary. Their defense, you just saw them give up 24 points against a Cowboys team that 2 weeks ago was looking like one of the worst teams in the NFL.
Yeah.
So, and that says a lot, right? So I think when you look at this team, you just got to be able to keep up with them, right? I'm not expecting this to be a defensive shutout. I would love for Montez Sweat to be able to get a couple of, hits on Jalen Hurts and really pressure the defense. But I feel like the strategy is we got to make sure we have a really strong run game or a really strong, passing game, because you just got to keep up with them. It's going to be loud. Their environment's very loud, very hostile. So those are my keys and tips. Is you got to be able to outscore, and just like the Ravens game, right? When we thought Lamar was going to play, I was like, yo, you got to just outscore him.
You're saying we got to get into a boat race. We got to win the boat race.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. I think another thing that you mentioned that I really like is pass rush. Lane Johnson's out for the Eagles. That's huge.
That is huge.
Their line's been a little banged up this year. Cam Jordan's been banged up. Montez Sweat needs to make an impact.
Yes.
100%. 100%. He's made an impact in a couple of games this year. He needs to be a force. I completely agree with you there. The other point I agree with is starting off hot. The Bears have one of the best point differentials of any team in the NFL in the first quarter.
Yeah.
The Bears start off really well. Sometimes their issue has been they start off well, and then they taper, and then they do just enough in the end to pull it out.
Yep.
And I don't think that formula works against the Eagles.
No.
I don't think, if the Bears went down 21-0 against the Eagles, I don't think this is a situation like we can do what the Cowboys do.
Yeah.
Our passing game isn't as explosive as Dallas is. We don't have two superstar receivers.
Yeah.
The other thing that's interesting to me is last night against the Cowboys, Saquon Barkley, 10 carries, 22 yards.
Which is shocking.
Did not have a good performance at all. Now, I understand that the Cowboys just traded for Quinnen Williams. Their interior defensive line is nasty. But this Cowboys defense has not been good all year. You could say it's different now that Overshawn's back and Quinnen Williams. I get it. I understand.
Yeah.
But for Saquon to be held at 2.2 yards per carry against this Cowboys defense,
insane, dude.
It's pretty insane.
Yeah.
So I think another key for the Bears is to keep Saquon contained. He really has not had an encore performance to hit what the season he had last year, where he had over 2,000 yards.
Oh, yeah.
One Offensive Player of the Year.
Yep.
This is not the Saquon of 2024,
No.
or it hasn't been up until this point.
Yeah.
So the Bears, I think Montez Sweat needs to make an impact, or the pass rush in general.
Yeah.
I think you need to keep Saquon in check, and then I think you need to get Jalen Hurts to turn the ball over. The Eagles do not turn the ball over. I believe they are the best team in the NFL in turnover margin. And that's been the Bears' bread and butter this year.
Yeah.
That has been what their calling card is to say, hey, we are going to give our offense more possessions than what you're going to give your offense is going to get. So
yeah,
it's very interesting to me, kind of how the strengths align in this one. I think Philly is not a great matchup for the Bears, admittedly, but one thing that Philly I think doesn't do well, or I guess isn't doing well, their secondary has been banged up.
Yeah.
Adoree Jackson, my brother's getting cooked out there yesterday.
He was.
I'm gonna be honest. They need to call the Amber Alert on him, because George Pickens had him in a blender. But it's one of those things. Philly, like I said, has positive turnover differential, like I was saying. So, I think if you're the Bears, I see what you're saying with get into a boat race with them, outscore them. I think you almost have to just, I don't know how to say this, because the Eagles are so talented.
They are.
But they've been dysfunctional, I guess is the right word, this year.
They have.
You almost want to play off of that, right? You almost want to make them become one-dimensional, because the Eagles are at their best when they are running the ball well and passing the ball well. If you make them one-dimensional, I do think that the Bears will have a shot in this one. And obviously Caleb, he's got to hit the layups against Philly. There's not going to be a lot of big plays.
No, you cannot. The error of margin is very slim.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Don't take any hits, though. That pass rush will get to you.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that those are going to be some of the keys in this game. It'll be interesting.
I also think too, which is interesting. I haven't watched the Eagles much this year, but I know last year before they won the Super Bowl, the biggest discussion was, can Jalen Hurts actually throw the ball? Can he get completions? Can he perform? And realistically, I mean, yes, in this game he started off hot, but his completion rate was not that great yesterday. And honestly, I feel like when Jalen Hurts throws the ball more than Saquon carries is when they're in trouble. Because if you look at last year's Super Bowl, I mean, yeah, Hurts had a great performance, but Saquon was killing the Chiefs, right? Yeah. And I think definitely when we have to make sure our interior defense really is able to stop the run game from Saquon Barkley, which is going to be difficult. But if we're able to make Hurts throw consistently and he's not, making his passes, or like you said, we're able to get an interception or two, I think we can win that game.
Yeah.
I feel like the Eagles' mantra is when their passing is great and their rushing is not great, it kind of like jinxes them and they lose.
Yeah.
Or they have a very narrow and close win. So I think definitely that's like the biggest key to the game is they have to stop the run game. I would rather have Jalen Hurts throw for 350 yards and lose than have Saquon just pretty much completely expose our defense, in the backfield.
Yeah, this year so far, Jalen Hurts has thrown 17 touchdowns. He's thrown 1 interception,
which is crazy.
They gotta get those numbers up for the Bears.
Yeah.
All right, Justin. So we've talked about the Eagles, talked about the Bears, talked about their playoff chances. I think we're at a point where we just gotta lay a prediction down.
Yeah.
Gotta stick with it. We gotta make sure that we are informing the people of the right decision. Now, I'm not gonna lie and I'm not gonna brag. I predicted the Steelers to lose to the Bears last week.
Yeah. So
meaning my perfect record's intact.
Yeah.
This is one of those games where I make my money as a predictor.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to let you go first.
Sure.
I'm going to let you predict what's going to happen with the Bears, and then we're going to see where I land.
So it's tough because looking at the Bears, the eye test is really showing how good the Bears are, right? On paper, it's tough because if we were at our full strength on defense, I would definitely be more confident to say that the Bears would win. But I'm just not sold. And the reason why I'm not sold is because normally, when it comes to our defense, we have a lot of good rookies that have been stepping up, and I definitely think Montez Sweat has made an impact. But I'll also say this: I think Friday is a real test for the Bears of can you beat a playoff, not really a playoff, but a Super Bowl contender. I mean, this is what you're going to have to do in order to advance in the playoffs, to reach the Super Bowl, to win the Super Bowl. So I think this would be a pivotal game. But going back to my prediction, I'm going to say the Eagles are going to win. And I know I want to say the Bears will win, but if I'm looking at paper, the lineups, I think if we were healthier, if we had our cornerbacks, if we had our linemen, I would definitely say that, the Bears have a good shot, and I would say the Bears. But I just think with the household names, the three-headed monster that I wrote in my script, right? We talked about A.J. Brown. We talked about Saquon. You forgot about Alabama, your boy, Devontae Smith. Like
Heisman
Trophy winner, right? So I just think with the injuries the Bears have and the dual wide receiver threat that's out there, plus, you have a generational running back in Saquon Barkley. I think the Bears will – so let me get to my score prediction because I'm yapping. But I think that it'll be a close one. I'm going to say Eagles 25, Bears 21. I'm just not confident because of the injuries. And I feel like for me, that's the only reason why I'm saying no. I feel like if we were at full strength, house money, you know what? I think we can do it because we've proven that we can beat any team on any day and we can come back. But I'm just not sold on this one, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And that's okay, right?
No, that's not bad logic at all. Mm-hmm. I'll say two things before I give my score prediction. Number one, if the Bears beat the Eagles on Friday, they advance to 9-3. They would be tied with the Rams, or I guess the Rams would have to play them. But the Bears would be, at worst, the second seed in the NFC.
Which is crazy.
9-3. I'd be saying some very dangerous things on our next episode of Bears.
Yeah, no.
The other thing is, Justin, and I don't know, my mom said this to me a lot growing up. She said, the definition of insanity is believing the same thing over and over and over again with nothing changes and expecting a different result.
Yep.
So call me insane. I'm taking the Bears, baby.
What?
They're going to walk into Philly and they're going to kick Rocky Balboa, his team, in the butt, okay? We're going to go into Philly. We're taking on Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. I don't care. I don't care if they throw out Donovan McNabb out there. I don't care who the Eagles play. Caleb Williams is the guy. Ben Johnson is the guy. I'm completely bought in. This game against the Steelers did it for me. I'm keeping my perfect record. I'm keeping my record on the line here, Justin.
Okay.
I've had a perfect season so far.
You have.
My reputation is on the line. Give me the Bears to beat the Philadelphia Eagles.
Wow.
Give me 28-27. It's close. It's an Eagles win up until the very, very end. And then the Bears pull it out. I'm telling you, the Bears are going to win this game. I don't know how. I don't know if it's probably going to be like a game-winning safety or something. I don't know what the Bears are going to do. They are going to win this game. They're going to move to 9-3. And then I'm booking my trip to San Francisco in February because the Bears will be going to the Super Bowl. I'm just kidding. I'm not talking about that. That last part I'm joking about. But the Bears are going to win this game. Put it in stone. Bet the mortgage on it. Don't do that. I'm just kidding. Chicago's taking this one. I'm coming out. I'm being bold. I am completely abandoning all logic and reasoning. They got me. I'm back. I'm bought in. Bears are winning this one. I'm calling it.
Wow. Okay. You know what? And honestly, with the season we've had, that's not a bad prediction. It literally lines up with what our storyline has been this season. So I think the Bears have a pretty good shot. I'm still going to stick with my prediction of them not winning, but I think we will be able to keep up with them. So.
And I'll say this, Justin.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of poetry.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Fan of storytelling.
Yeah.
And one thing I love about storytelling is irony.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How ironic would it be? Last year, our season on Thanksgiving with Ben Johnson on the sideline.
Yeah.
Watched the Bears completely crumble on Thanksgiving. Didn't call their timeouts. Let the clock wind down. Throw up a desperation pass to DJ Moore that was never going to be completed.
No.
Completely fumbled the end of the game away. After coming back, they stormed back in the game. And it was just blundered at the end.
Yeah.
How poetic would it be to then now have Ben Johnson on our sideline again for Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
Against an NFC contending team. And this time, we're winning.
Yeah. That's...
it's poetic. Shakespeare couldn't even write that. It's so good.
Yeah, it's good, man.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. Jeez.
Now, I will say, the Eagles could very well win this game. And the Eagles, I'll look this up right now. The Eagles are probably favored.
Yeah, I saw that we were like, they had it over. I
would guess they're like 4-point favorites.
Yeah, I know ESPN is saying they have a 68% chance of winning.
They're 7-point favorites. Holy crap.
Yeah, we're the underdogs coming in, which I kind of figured,
Vegas, you don't know nothing. Vegas don't know nothing. Trust your boy.
68%. Yeah, ESPN says the Eagles have a 68.7% chance to win. So
68.7. What percentage was their chance to win when they were up 21-0 yesterday? That's what I got to say.
Don't even want to know. Yeah,
Bears are winning. I'm back. The whole season I've been cautious. They're 8-3. I don't care anymore. Bears are winning this game.
Okay.
I'll put my reputation on the line. Don't mess with me, Bears. If you lose this game in heartbreaking fashion, it's going to take a long time for me to recover. Like a whole week, I swear. Don't lose this game. That's all I have to say, Justin.
Yeah, wow. So I
got a little riled up.
Yeah, no, I like it, though. I like the optimism. I think the Bears have a pretty good chance to make some noise. It will be a tough game. It's not going to be easy, especially, in that hostile environment. But you never know. This is any given Sunday league. So I think
or any given Friday, I guess in this case.
Yeah, which is weird. Marketing, Amazon Prime, whatever.
Appreciate you, Amazon.
Thanks.
But I think that'll do it for Bears Talk today.
Yeah.
You've heard our predictions. You've heard our analysis. We're going to head out. Justin, I hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving holiday.
Yes.
Make sure you eat a lot of food. Make sure you get really fat. And then make sure to spend a lot of money on Friday, especially if the Bears win. So see you guys on the next episode of Bears Talk, where I will be and probably having a manic episode if the Bears win. I'll just say that. So you guys have a good one. Peace out.
See you.